This morning, I asked ChatGPT what was the biggest news story in Canada today, and this was the result, the EV rebate. So we're going to dive into the new or the EV rebate as it is now. So I would definitely love to know your thoughts. So feel free to join the chat, jump into the chat at any time, and let me know what you're thinking. First, as always, I like to check out some of the comments on X. So we'll see here. I'm going to share this. And I think that should be coming up there now. So right away, we have from Garrettson, who has a fairly large following, 166,000 followers. Canada is in collapse, but at least we got our EV rebate, and then some news clippings from CTV on the brink. Canada's economy is on life support, so yeah. Polly B, 1,100 followers. Question: did the new EV rebate today just damage resale value for anyone who recently bought one? Hope you like your car because you can't sell it for what you may still owe on it. And then elbows up. Ron Butler, EV rebate insanity. Why has the federal government returned to giving a $5,000 rebate for a car for rich people? These are $70,000 cars. A Honda Civic is $31,000. Oh, and lower income people mainly buy used cars. So who is our virtue signaling government actually helping here? I don't know the answer to that. Lori Goldstein, 123,000 followers. Car dealers still seeking reimbursement for EVs sold under old rebate program. The reborn federal EV rebate program is set to launch today, but some auto dealers say they're still out tens of thousands of dollars from the last one. And yeah, we are going to look at that. A few other articles. I'm not sure. National news. I think I have another article pulled up from CBC, possibly. Richard Diaz, 20,000 followers. If you are a working class family, you receive a GST rebate about $1,000 to $2,000. If you are rich, you get an EV subsidy, $2,500 to $5,000. Canada Freedom, 981 followers. More EV subsidies for American-made vehicles. Mark Carney announced today that the EV rebate for vehicles under 50,000 is coming back. While Canada loses 5,000 jobs due to the trade war, Carney continues to subsidize American EV industry. Okay. There is only one EV assembled in Canada, the Dodge Charger, which retails for 81,000 and therefore doesn't qualify for the 5,000 rebate. Why does the Liberal Party government promote building in Canada and buying Canadian, but then only subsidize foreign-built EVs? So that is actually wrong. The Dodge Charger does qualify, and we'll look into that in a little bit here as well. So hopefully you stick around. Tokyo Rose, 50,000. Resale value. EVs have several things going against them here, including rebates only apply to new EVs, battery replacement costs, value of the car itself, higher depreciation rate than gas vehicles. Cars are never a good investment, but EVs are worse. Here are the conditions under which I would buy an EV, be the same price as a gas-powered vehicle. I think a lot of them are now getting to that range. Be able to be plugged into a normal household 110 circuit, be capable of running in -40 without loss of power, get the same range as a gas vehicle. And they are getting close to the same range now. I think a lot of them are around 500 kilometers, which I know that still isn't usually a full tank of gas. You're probably going to get 6, 7, maybe 800 kilometers, but 500 kilometers on an EV they are getting closer to the range. Globalnews.ca. How many followers? Almost a million followers for Global News. Car dealers still seeking reimbursement for EV sold under old rebate program. Leave it to Beaver, 32 followers. The EV rebates piss me off, especially if Stellantis vehicles qualify. I just don't see why we are subsidizing something we have no real infrastructure for, and people who are well off can take advantage of the rebate. WTF. Okay, Michael, 6,800, almost 6,900 followers. So an American EV crosses into Canada. Canadian government collects tariffs on it. I'm not sure if there are any tariffs on American EVs. The customer then pays the cost of the tariff. The government taxes the EV and the cost from the tariff. Then the government takes money from the taxpayer and gives it as an EV rebate. Retarded. And then this one is actually from over a year ago, January 2025. This one is actually about ending the last rebate. So we'll just end our little X adventure there and dive into some other uh, articles that I have on the go. So I'll just stop sharing that. But yeah, please jump up into the chat and let me know what you're thinking, what you think of the EV rebate. It is yeah. It is a topic. It is today's topic. So we do have some other things to look into. Like I said, like I always say when I'm doing these live streams, the live streams are so much better when there is some interaction with the audience. So please feel free to speak what's on your mind. Okay, so there was one. Yes, this is. I just need to find it now. Pull it up. So we're going to take a look at Canada confirms 35 EVs eligible. So there's only 35 vehicles that are eligible for this. And please bear with me on this site. As I was looking at it earlier, there are a lot of ads that pop up, it seems. Let me just make sure this is shared properly. Yes, there it is. Excellent. So Canada confirms 35 EVs eligible for new rebate program. Here's the full list update. And there's actually quite a bit of just article. This is actually from Drive Tesla, so it is a little. So right here, this list also includes the Dodge Charger Daytona EV, which starts above 50,000, but is made in Canada, so it is still eligible. Let's get down to the list. So up to $5,000 incentive. Chevrolet, the 2025 and 26 Equinox, and the 2027 Chevy Bolt, the Dodge 24, 2025, and 2026 Dodge Charger, 2025 and 2026, 2026 Ford Mustang Mach-E, 25, 25, 26 Hyundai Kona, and so, okay, now this one up to $2,500 incentive. 2025 and 2026 Chrysler Pacifica. 2024, 25, and 26 Ford Escape plug-in hybrid. And so that's the entire list. 35 vehicles that do qualify. So that's I guess the beginning of. That's where we start. That's where we start. The next article I was looking at earlier, and we got lucky there. There wasn't a lot of ads that popped up that time. I think maybe it's because I had that page open for so long. And this is from the Financial Post. This next one, Canada EV rebate. Let's just make sure this shares properly. It should pop up there now. Yes, we have it. So post haste, Canada's $5,000 EV incentives kicking on Monday. Will Canadians bite? There's lots for car buyers to choose. Yeah, see, here's one of these ads. And I can't see what's written behind it. How annoying is that? And there doesn't, oh, maybe I can close the ad. Okay, good. So there's lots for car buyers to chew on as subsidies restart, Tesla stalls, and Chinese EV imports arrive. Oh, I didn't know they were arriving already. So new bid electric vehicles are unloaded from a ship in Argentina. Well, being in Argentina doesn't mean they've arrived in Canada. Canada has struck a deal with China to accept up to 49,000 EVs while also lowering tariffs to 6% from 100%. Yes, I think we all know that. Canada's electric vehicle market is idling at a crossroads as a series of sector altering events collide that could reignite the interest of Canadians, says Clutch Co. A year ago, it was defined by subsidies, mandates, and Tesla Inc.'s dominance, automobile seller said in a report on Thursday. All three have shifted dramatically. A federal subsidy program for EV restarts on Monday today and will pay up to $5,000 per new EV with a value of no more than $50,000. Chinese-made EVs, which could start arriving in Canada this year after Ottawa struck a deal with Beijing, will not be eligible for this subsidy. So that's interesting. The Chinese EVs are not eligible for the subsidy. What replaced the mandates and Tesla's dominance is a market that behaves like a market as prices respond to supply and demand. A market that behaves like a market. Interesting. Sales at Tesla, often used as a synonym for Canada's EV market drop, dropped 65.3% in 2025 from 2024. In 2022, Tesla commanded 40% of the Canadian EV market, but that dropped to single digits by mid-2025 as General Motors became the number one seller of General Motors became the number one seller of EVs in Canada. Clutch said Canadians interested in the EV market will be seeing a flood of 35 new models in 2026, including the return of the Chevy Bolt with a base price of $39,999. Let's close that off over there too. This sets the domestic price floor and undercuts most Chinese imports that won't qualify for the incentive, Clutch said. Kia Corp, Hyundai Motor Corp, Subaru Corp, and Toyota Motors are also launching new models in the mid $40,000 to $55,000 range, adding to the flood of options for buyers. Clutch said the domestic new EV market will have room to run, predicting that mass Chinese volume is a 2027 story at the earliest. But it said it's not quite all clear for the EV market. Car loans are expensive, with interest rates of 6.5% to 7% for new vehicles and nearly 8% for used ones. EVs are typically more expensive than their gas-powered counterparts, leaving monthly payments unworkable for many buyers without a rebate program to buttress the cost, Clutch said. It also said rate-sensitive Canadians are turning to hybrid EVs since they are cheaper than full-on EVs and solve battery range anxiety and charging problems. Hybrids also deal better with cold weather. And when I was reading this earlier, I think this is the end of it. It's just that this last paragraph. Policy and product don't exist in a vacuum, Clutch said. The broader economic environment is shaping buyer behavior in ways that compound the challenges already facing the EV market. So yeah, that's sort of the interesting news of the day. Obviously not a huge news day in Canada when ChatGPT tells me the top story is is a $5,000 rebate for electric vehicles. But that is where we're at. That is what, yeah, that's that. So I do want to thank everyone who has supported the Passive Income and Political Podcast live stream, everyone who has in the past sent super stickers and super chats. Very appreciated. I do appreciate that, obviously, very much. It does help me keep going, obviously. And every time you hit like and subscribe, that helps as well. So it's all very appreciated. Every little bit helps. But again, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Join the chat. I would really love to have a discussion. I truly can't do these live streams alone, meaning basically meaning, yeah, that it helps a lot to have some interaction and have some people joining in and chiming in. And I think I did have one more article to share as well. So let me just find that. And this is the article from CBC. Car dealers seek reimbursement for EVs sold. So that should come up on screen now. EVs sold under old rebate program as new one launches today. So we'll just jump into this article. Consumers can access rebates starting today. Reimbursement portal for dealerships opens in April. Okay. And here we have a picture. Prime Minister Mark Carney tours an auto parts plant in Woodbridge, Ontario on February 5th before announcing the return of an EV rebate program. The reborn federal electric vehicle rebate program launches today, but some auto dealers in Canada say they're still out tens of thousands of dollars from the last one. Canadians can now access up to $5,000 in government rebates toward the purchase of that cost under $50,000. Plug-in hybrids will be eligible for $2,500 in subsidies. The return of the popular program is being welcomed by car dealerships, but some of them have their guard up because the government's portal to submit reimbursement claims won't be launched until April. Yeah, that does seem a little backwards, right? Like, shouldn't the car dealerships who are expecting to give a $5,000 discount basically on the vehicle, so that the car dealership has to basically eat that $5,000 for the rest of February, March, and whatever time into April that it's actually that then they can actually apply for their reimbursement? It's a little worrisome, said Dean Woods, sales manager at a Kia dealership in Grimsby, Ontario. Obviously, my antlers are a little bit more raised with what's going on, and I'm going to be on top of every claim just because I don't trust the system anymore. Wood said his dealership is out $20,000 from the old program after Transport Canada refused to reimburse it for rebates applied to EVs it sold. The cars were sold in 2024, but the dealership's office manager didn't notice they hadn't been reimbursed by the government until a month ago. Ooh, that's bad. Woods wrote to Transport Canada asking to be reimbursed, but the federal department refused because the program had ended a year ago. Yeah, so I guess that's a lesson learned for the car dealerships. Stay on top of that. After Woods pressed Transport Canada further and provided documentation to support the claims, it chalked it up to an error in the submission form. Therefore, you never received the claim number confirmations for these 4 submissions, and it was never received by the IZEV program, a Transport Canada official said in a letter to Woods last month that he shared with the Canadian press. And obviously, there's more to the article there that I'm not going to read the entire article. If you would like to read it, you can easily find it yourself on CBC News. But that does seem to be a warning, a very large red flag, very large warning for the car dealerships. Yeah, I would hate to be in that position, right? Like, I'm sure I don't know what the margins are on that, but I'm guessing any business doesn't like being at $20,000, right? Needless to say, whether you're selling like things for $1 or things for $50,000, you don't want to be out a total of 20,000 on your bottom line. That's for sure. So yeah, that's it. It looks like it's going to be a quick live stream today, guys, because it has been a very slow news day. That was again, according to ChatGPT this morning, that was the top news story in Canada today. The EV rebate. And again, if we're not getting people to jump up and join the chat, I really can't just keep talking to myself. I would love to talk to you guys. I would love to have somebody join the chat and we can keep going. But if not, we will just end the live stream now. Unfortunately, I would like to go a lot longer. I do usually set aside at least an hour for my live streams, and I can kind of talk to myself for 15 or 20, sometimes 25, 30 minutes. But the live streams are so much better when there is interaction with the audience. So I will keep asking on my future live streams that people participate. Hopefully, because I've done so many live streams in the past where there is a lot of audience participation, and those live streams, I can guarantee you, they are 110% better for everyone involved. They're better for me. They're better for you, the viewer. Uh, so, okay. With that said, we will we will end it. But thank you for those of you who did join today's live stream. I do plan on live streaming a lot more, hopefully almost daily. So please click that subscribe button if you enjoy me talking about Canadian politics. I think that is what I'm going to be focusing this channel on a lot more over the next few months. I know at the end of March, we have the NDP leadership convention coming up. And obviously, there's all sorts of things. There's news every day. So, and you know what? I think that's what I'll just do is every morning ask ChatGPT what the biggest story of the day is, and we'll base the live stream around that. So hopefully you can come back. I am going to try probably around this time most days, starting at 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Eastern, is it Standard or Daylight Time right now? I don't know. Eastern Standard Time, I guess. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining and hitting the like button and subscribing. And I will hopefully